Hey, Crystal Maiden here, doing post-commentary over one of the most unique 2D Sonic games out there, Knuckles Chaotix. Basically, it's a spin-off because, well, first of all, Knuckles is in the title instead of Sonic, and second, later on it was confirmed that the game is no longer canon to the main series. Because the characters that appear in this game, that were introduced in this game, they get reintroduced in Sonic Heroes. And Vector has a different, superior design. He's really skinny in this one. And according to the instruction manual, the characters who were introduced in this game... Oh yeah, I want to tell you one of my first experiences with this. I clicked no data when I first played this game. Because, well, I guess I just wasn't thinking. Because it didn't say no save, it said no data or something. So, I basically had to do the entire intro level all over again. Like, why is the no save option the first option highlighted in the file select screen? And why does it even exist in the first place? I don't know. Anyways, this is the first appearance of Espio. Espio the Chameleon. Basically, he's a ninja. And he's really stoic, and he keeps his emotions under control. And he's very dignified and cool and mysterious. Yeah, that was the tutorial. The reason I skipped it, even though I was completely new to the game and didn't know what to do, is that it's really boring because it just forces you to repeat the same actions you already did multiple times in a row, to the point where you start getting worried that you haven't done them right. Like, it literally tells you to repeat the same action 7 times. I mean, it's great for learning how to play the game, but the intro level is a lot better at being a tutorial because it doesn't force you to do things over and over again. And you don't spend 8 billion years there. I mean, this is the longest level in the game, but it's still more fun. I took forever here because I had no idea what I was supposed to do. Like, I got so stuck here that I reconsidered playing the game, and I was lucky that I was able to figure out for myself what you had to do. Walk away from your partner while holding B, and he'll stay in one place, and you'll be able to walk away. But it's kind of tricky because if you press B too close to him, then you'll pick him up and carry him around instead. The unique thing about this game, among many other things, is the tether ring mechanic. You control a character who is tethered to a partner, and because the partner is dragging you down, and you're dragging the partner along, you have a lot of weird physics going on. Like, you can use this to your advantage. Like, see how fast I'm going? You can actually use your partner's momentum and move a lot faster than you normally would. And you don't always have to hold down the B button and, I guess, sort of charge up the pseudo spin dash. You don't always have to do that, because if you just keep on jumping while moving forwards, then you can not only keep your momentum, but because your partner keeps getting pulled behind you and jumping and landing on the ground, his momentum actually increases. So you can use your partner's speed to drag you along with him and move a lot faster than you would if you had the spin dash. The spin dash is kind of weird in this game in that it doesn't matter how many times you rev it up. You don't get launched any further or faster with it. It's always the same. It's like Sonic 4. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea. The spin dash is kind of lame in this game. At least it doesn't take as long to charge up as holding B with your partner, though. Yeah, that's another... The physics are kind of awkward here because you have to be careful and jump on the spring with enough momentum, or just climb the wall and skip it entirely. Because sometimes your partner will drag you back down when you're trying to land on the spring. And sometimes you have to hit it multiple times. Knuckles is pretty slow in this game. Like, He's a lot faster in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, definitely. Like, I feel like he plays differently a little. And that's part of the reason why I never play as him in this game. It's also because there's so many different characters to choose from, and practically all of them are superior to Knuckles. Although they control a little bit differently, so it's kind of hard to get used to the different characters. This game has some pretty weird controls. Oh, I like this puzzle. It's weird because the intro stage has a lot of puzzles that you're never going to encounter again in the game. You're never ever going to have to make your partner hold still on a hologram of himself and walk around. You're never going to have to do that ever again. Oh, I hate this. What you're supposed to do to make him pull you up is tap the control pad upwards multiple times, and he'll pull you up. How are you supposed to know that? I guess it tells you in the tutorial, but it probably takes so long to do it that I missed out on it. That is easily the most unintuitive thing in the entire game. It took me a very long time to figure out how I was supposed to do this. The controls for this game are really bizarre by platformer standards. Basically, the C button on the Genesis controller is supposed to be used to jump. Not the A button, not the B button. In fact, the A button is used to summon your partner back when he disappears or when he's in a place that you don't want him to be. So, the A button is the most minor button of all, and you don't really want to use it because pressing the A button costs 10 rings, and you need rings to enter the special stage. The A button is usually the most important button ever, except on a Genesis controller where it's the B button, but you'd expect the A button to at least be of secondary importance, not limited to something so minor. So it was kind of weird for me to get used to. I decided to change the controls so that, because as you probably noticed by now, I'm playing this game on an emulator. It's extremely expensive to get this game the legitimate way, so like I'll show you how expensive it really is later. I got stuck here for a while and I backtracked a bit. It was only later that I realized I had to climb up and then go left to reach the goalpost? What the fuck? I haven't had to go left to reach the goalpost since Gimmick Mountain Zone. That should never happen. Anyways, this is the special stage, Knuckles Chaotix. Now, I usually hate Sonic special stages. So, and this is no exception. But this is still one of my top 10 favorite Sonic special stages, but that's not saying much. First of all, you're constantly going forward, so if you miss a blue spear, which is really easy to do, then unless you're lucky enough that you can walk into a bumper and get sent backwards, then you're not going to be able to get it. And the bumper doesn't always send you backwards enough that you can collect the blue spear you missed. You come into the special stages having rings, and you have the same amount of rings going into the special stage that you would have when you beat the level. And this is important because if you run out of rings, then you lose the special stage, and the rings are counting down like a timer. So it's a good thing that you can collect rings here. This special stage seems to be combining Sonic 2's ridiculously difficult special stages with Sonic 3's Blue Spear minigame. Only it's a little better because you're not moving extremely fast. So you don't have to deal with collecting what you need to collect when it just suddenly pops up on the horizon before you can even react to it. And then you have to, and obviously there's a delay between when you react to seeing it and when you press the control pad. And so you don't always collect the rings you need to. In these special stages, it's not nearly as bad because you're moving at an acceptable speed. So it's a lot easier to beat them. But I will be taking advantage of save states in order to beat every special stage I see in one go. Except for one special stage that I give up on and come back to later. I know it's cheating, but it's better that I show you the good ending when I beat the game, and then show you the bad ending in the extra video. You get 25 tries to get all of the special stages. You don't collect Chaos Emeralds in this game. What you do is you collect Chaos Rings. This is a hub world, and this is probably the first instance of a hub world in any Sonic game. I hate this thing. Here's what happens if you actually try to do this. You are pretty much guaranteed to grab one of these awful, useless joke partners. I'll show off how awful Bomb and Heavy are later on, but the best way to deal with this thing is to just press the A button immediately. You're guaranteed to get a partner that isn't one of the joke characters if you just press A immediately. So it's good that they give you that option. You're not forced to use a combi caster to select the partner, the character that you're playing. It just sucks that you're forced to use a combi caster to choose your partner. I stood around here for a while because for some reason I forgot that you had to jump into that bumper thing to select the stage. I thought it just selected it on its own. That's another unique thing about this game, is that it has randomized stages. Well, sort of. Because I remember that one time I accidentally loaded my state and got out of a level, and then I used the stage randomizer again, and I got the exact same level that I did last time. So maybe it's predetermined based on when you start your file, or when you load your file, I don't know. But the point is, you never know what stage you're going to get. And that kind of helps to give the game a fresh feeling to it. Although I'm not sure why you would play through the entirety of this game more than once. I mean, it's fun. It's just that it can get repetitive because every level has 5 acts, which is ridiculous. I mean, there aren't that many levels in this game. Yeah, this is the weird physics it's kinda hard to get used to the tethering mechanic. You can't just spin dash up the wall because your partner will be dragging you down. It took me a while to realize that I had to hold B standing still, or you can just jump a whole bunch to gain momentum and go up the wall that way. Corkscrew loops are the most common method of gaining speed in Knuckles Chaotix. There's barely any normal loops, and there aren't that many slopes either. But still a pretty fast and fun game. It's just that the biggest problem I have with it is that every level has 5 acts. I mean, 3 acts, okay, I can deal with that. Sonic 1 had that too. But 5 acts? Really? It just feels like a cheap way at padding out the game. Just because they didn't have enough time to give the game a larger amount of levels. But the level design is different with every act. Not too different, but different enough that I don't feel like the game gets repetitive. I mean, I only played through the entirety of this game once, so I didn't memorize the level sign. Yeah, I got stuck here for a while because I didn't realize that you could jump through the ceiling. Because they look exactly like, I don't know. Vector is... A lot of the characters are weird in their climbing controls because you have to keep holding down the climb button in order to stay on the wall. It's not like with Knuckles where you just glide up to it and then you climb it. And every character has a method of ascending walls. So it keeps the good Sonic design going, where every character is basically the same, but they have enough differences from each other that you have a reason to play as one over the other. Vector the Crocodile is... well, here the only way that you see his personality is by him dancing in the victory screen in idle animation, and he listens to music. Like, his character description is that he loves music. I guess he loves rock music. And that stayed in Sonic Heroes. But Sonic Heroes also expanded upon his personality, as well as making him more muscular. Vector is... He's greedy, like he loves money, but that's not his defining character trait. He's goofy and he's a brilliant detective. Like he's really good at figuring stuff out. Like in Sonic Heroes, I might as well spoil this because I refuse to even touch that game, so it won't be him hearing this channel anyways, but in Sonic Heroes, Vector figures out that it was Eggman who was telling him to do all those missions for him. Like, he opens the door where Eggman is trapped, and he says, Dr. Eggman, I presume. And then Espio and Charmy act surprised. It kind of makes me wonder, well, I guess Vector had to have kept it to himself because maybe Eggman could hear him through the walkie-talkie even when it was turned off, and so Vector knew that he couldn't tell his friends that it was Eggman, because then Eggman would hear him. And he followed Eggman's orders anyways because he wanted money. Eggman said that he was going to pay him for his missions. And so, like, that's the whole motivation in Sonic Heroes, is that they want to pay the rent. That's something I love about the special stages in this game. You're allowed to miss blue spheres. I walked past a yellow sphere. I'll talk more about them later on, because right now they're completely optional, and you really don't need to walk into them. See you for the next part.